Guess what guess who Trump has hired? He has hired an attorney here in Atlanta. The attorney's name is Drew Findling, or Findling, Findling. And this attorney, he calls himself the billion-dollar lawyer. The billion-dollar lawyer. He is a top criminal attorney, and he has represented a bunch of rap stars over the years, including Cardi B and Gucci Mane and other rap stars. And he's known by the hashtag billion-dollar lawyer. But he is also very well regarded for a range of criminal defense work that he's done here in Georgia. And the fact that the Trump Orange Vomit hired him underscores the seriousness of the investigation being conducted here by the Fulton County, that would be Atlanta, District Attorney, Fannie Willis. Now, the thing that's interesting about the hiring of Drew Findling is his what he has said about Trump over the years. And I mean, this kind of blows me away. In one post on Twitter in 2018, after Trump criticized LeBron James, Mr. Findling referred to Trump as, quote, the racist architect of fraudulent Trump University, end quote. Racist. And in 2017, after Trump fired U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, Preet Bharara, Mr. Findling said on Twitter that the firing, quote, is a sign of fear that he would aggressively investigate the stench hovering over this president of the United States, end quote. Findling has also called Trump's history of the shitty comments he made about the 5 Black and Latino teenagers who were wrongly convicted in the awful rape of a jogger in Central Park. Findling called Trump's comments, quote, racist, cruel, sick, unforgivable, un-American, end quote. Now, he was questioned by the New York Times yesterday in a phone interview and why he was going to defend Trump. And Findling explained his decision by referring to John Adams, who took the very unpopular position of representing British troops after the so-called Boston Massacre. You remember the Boston Massacre from your reading of history, right? Anyway, Findling said, quote, I do not believe that we choose our client or clients based on race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender, political belief, or the substantive issues involved in the crime. We have our personal lives and we have our personal politics, and I don't apologize for any personal politics. Well, all right. I would no more defend Trump if I had 50 law degrees. I hesitated on the Boston Massacre thing because, you know, that was if I remember right, from high school, Crispus Attucks, a black man, was, I think, the only, I may be wrong here, but I think he was the only fatality in the so-called Boston Massacre. A black man killed in defense of the colonies. Anyway, back to Mr. Findling. He also drew on the kinds of First Amendment issues that often come up in criminal cases at the nexus of hip-hop and crime. You know, the language issues, First Amendment protections. And Findling maintained that Trump had done nothing improper in Georgia. The phone call to Raffensperger, our Secretary of State, he mentioned Trump's infamous taped phone call in January 2021 with Georgia's Secretary of State, and he specifically addressed the moment when Trump pressed Raffensperger to find 11,780 votes that could overturn Biden's victory in Georgia. And some legal experts say that shit may amount to solicitation to commit election fraud under law here in Georgia. But Findling said this, quote, "Somebody listens to a rap song that lasts for 4 minutes and 11 seconds and pulls one verse out and tries to conjure up some type of criminal case out of it." End quote. And he said that in both the phone call that Trump made and the rap song that he's referencing, context was crucial. And Mr. Findling said that the conversation the Orange Vomit had with Secretary of State here in Georgia amounted to an effort to, quote, negotiate a resolution, end quote, to a civil legal matter. What the fuck are you talking about, brother? Negotiate a resolution to a civil legal matter? Get out of town. Jesus God. Now, Findling went on to say, this is all according to the New York Times, he went on to say he was part of a Georgia-based legal team that's now working for Trump that includes, Jennifer Little. I know this person, a former DeKalb County prosecutor. I don't mean I know her, but I know of her. And Dwight Thomas, a veteran defense lawyer, who previously worked for the Office for Civil Rights at the U.S. Education Department. And these people are going to defend Trump. Woo! Now we have a quote from Norman Eisen. You remember him? He served as special counsel to the House Judiciary Committee's first Trump impeachment. And Eisen, by the way, he was co-author of a 114-page Brookings Institution analysis of the Georgia case last year that found that Trump, quote, is at substantial risk of possible state charges predicated on multiple crimes, end quote. But Eisen said, quote, the presence of this high-priced and high-powered legal talent signifies the exceptional national importance of the fast-moving investigation and the likely imminent charges against the former president and possibly others in his circle, end quote. I just have to say it. I am absolutely shocked at the people who have been retained to defend this filthy pig. I mean, I really am. I really am. These are people who have worked to defend human rights, civil rights, the proper application of the law. And they're going up against Fannie Wilson, the district attorney of Fulton County. I just can't. I mean, after he said that Trump's accusations against the wrongly convicted teenagers in that rape in Central Park, he said that Trump was racist, cruel, sick, unforgivable, and un-American. Well, he said his comments were, but, the comments came out of Trump's mouth. Jesus God. I don't understand it. And then Jennifer Little, former DeKalb County prosecutor. And Dwight Thomas. Now, I know his name better than I know Jennifer Little's, the veteran defense lawyer who has worked as plaintiff's attorney when there have been violations of civil rights law in the Atlanta area. And Dwight Thomas worked with the Office for Civil Rights at the U.S. Education Department in D.C. I mean, these are people who have spent their lives in the legal profession trying to prevent the kind of garbage that Trump puts out every single day. Well, Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.